Hi everyone, it's Justin here. Okay, so I think this is a workable copy now. So um, yeah, it's a workable copy. I'll go through this very quickly, a very basic use of this, and I guess walking around the file. So let's go press 0 so that we leave the camera view, the locked-in camera view, and well, let's explore the planets. So um, Okay, so when you first open this file, it'll be in this view. So you have to select this view if you want to get into this one. And remember, once you shift to this view, it starts to consume more resources of your computer. So use it when you're sparingly. Okay, so now let's go to shading. So shading is where Okay, so what I did was, here's a very good practice. Okay, so what I did was I made a planet, a spare planet called collection 2, and we'll do that again. Okay, let's make a spare planet. So this, if I select this, it'll only select the clouds, which is a bit slightly larger sphere. Let's make a box select, which is left clicking and dragging, and I select this, then I press Shift D, and I created, okay, and then let's move it around the y-axis. Let's move it around the y-axis. Okay, now that I have this, let's create a new collection. Yeah, so let's see, it's called Earth-like Planet 2. Let's right click, new collection. Where's that new collection? Oh, there it is, collection 3. Let's drag, so select, holding control, select, holding control while left clicking, and I drag these to this collection. Since everything is in this other collection, we can turn off visibility and turn off rendering, so we won't see it. Now we can proceed to modify and play around this Earth-like world. So I'm using mouse wheel to scroll forward, and pressing third button and shift to drag and pan. Okay, so with this, because we don't, I'm okay with the clouds. I will just hide it, and we will look at the planet. So, um, uh, okay, so the first part I will discuss is modifying I discussed changing the color before. So I'll talk about particularly controlling and randomizing the continents and islands. So you will notice that we added text. So let me close this and drag. Oh, so I'm not on the Earth surface. I'm on the Earth-like atmosphere. So I click here to go back to the Earth's surface, and ooh, it didn't save. Okay, doesn't matter. Included in the file is the manual that um, I checked and Nico made, and I'll go through it quickly. Okay, so the first thing that you will want to modify is probably the continents, especially if you're going to later on render this as a 2D map. I won't cover rendering 2D map yet. I'm not yet call this. I have to test it first. I spent most of the time just making sure I fully understand how the the Musgrave the geography, or how to modify the continents and turn it into islands. So right now the default scale is roughly 4. So you have continents or islands as big as Australia, And of course, yeah, it's as big as Australia and a little bit, and for as big as America. Um, if you want much larger continents, so the scale here is a deviation number. Um, 4 and -4 is roughly the same. So and of course, negative, it's a deviation, so it's distance from 0. So -11 and 11 is the same, so it's farther from 0. So the closer you are to 0, the larger the continents are. So let's go to 2 1. So wait a minute. That's strange. Let's put it at 2. 2 has larger continents, but 1 0 has no continents. I guess it's not 0, it's more of the because like once I start going to negative, I think it's around 2, so it's the distance to 2, do I start getting a lot of. So if you notice, like the farther you are from 2, you have these more of these archipelagos type islands. So it becomes more plentiful as I notice it, and smaller once I got to 70. While when I go to 3 and 2, I've got large continents like Europe or Asia. So scale is what you touch, is you use mostly. Detail is if you want the islands to be it's less fractal and smoother. But yeah, I don't really recommend that. I mean, it's for the purposes of just manipulating islands. This is just fine. Okay, so now let's randomize the islands itself. So you can, if you go to mapping, modified geography, you can change uh, the rotation x, y, z axis, so it moves the continent along x, y, z axis. So it just randomizes it, and the same thing with location. It just randomizes it. It doesn't. It just randomizes what your islands are gonna look like, and of course their position relative to your what you call this, your equator, and of course your poles, which are much colder. Depending if you're, I guess, if you're in a particular conservative habitable zone. Okay, so let's go back to 0. Let's go back to 0 and 0. So it gets back to, so it turns back into this original thing. So the location and rotation is the one that you can modify. Scale does weird things, like it makes the islands like shaped like this, and I don't know if that is suitable. I can imagine like the planet is spinning so much that it causes that. Like maybe I don't know. I mean, if you think it's a good idea, then maybe it might be an interesting thing to do. So yeah, so that's how you change around the planet. And of course, if you were going to take a snapshot of it, let's go back to a different scene. Let's turn this on. Wait a minute. Let's see. Ooh, Earth-like clouds. Oh, it's something's blocking its view. Let's move it here where there's light. It's still not getting light. Oh, because the light is separate. Let's put that in a different collection. And yeah, let's just put it in this. Let's go back. Okay, yeah, let's move that, and let's put light in scene collection there. So light is there, and yeah. Okay. So again, so there are two cameras here. Let's move the cameras as well. Scene collection. Let's move into a different collection. So let's use the second camera. No, let's make another camera. Let's go to add, and let's add a camera. Okay, and then so you notice that little box over that symbol of the old style camera that probably kids won't know, and we'll click on that, and we'll press numpad 0, and then we'll make sure that the camera is locked to view. Then we'll look for our world. There it is. Okay, and I guess we'll change the angle, and I guess we'll like 2/3 view it or something. Oops. Okay, what's wrong with my axis? Okay, yeah. Okay, let's do something different. Let's go more to its night side. Yeah. So yeah, that would be something to try. That'd be interesting how that where's getting that light. Okay, let's maybe we can pan around. Ooh, wow. Okay, let's not think too hard. Let's just have like a planet we can show our players or the GM. And render this image. Let's see how long does that take. Let's have another window capture. Yeah, render. Okay, so this is how the render file looks, and it took 14 seconds. Because there's so much more to render. Okay. Yeah, so once you have rendered, go to image, save as. Okay, let's have another render. I'm adding an increment, save, and I can close that and it'll disappear. And I can go back to the original camera. Sorry. Okay, let's hide this planet. And let's go to original camera and press camera view there. And okay, and then make sure we make our view set up. And I guess that concludes my short tutorial. To follow will be the polls and the polls the polls and the 2D map with the new more realistic view. Okay, so yeah, thanks for your time. I hope you buy our product, and if you have any feedback to give, feel free to comment in the YouTube or in the blog. We appreciate any feedback that will help us make the product better, and of course, more people liking it and getting it. Okay, good day to you guys.